So today, we have Deacon St. John from Days Gone taking on Joe Miller from The Last of Us games. Who wins? Well, let's find out. So, we gotta start off with strength. And Deacon St. John, or Deke, is very strong. He can smash through wooden doors, dismember bleachers, who have 40% muscle mass, more muscle mass than normal zombies and people. He stopped a punch from a breaker cold in its tracks, pushed trucks and SUVs single-handedly, and defeat wolves and bears in melee combat. Big brown bears in melee combat all by himself. He's also just simply beat people to death with the melee weapon that he is currently carrying, whether it's like a baseball bat or something like that. But Joel has casually moved large pieces of furniture by himself. He's broken bones. He's helped move a truck and a grand piano. He's overpowered and restrained people and zombies, as well as beat them down with his bare hands. He's also overpowered people and zombies when they had all the leverage on him. Kind of like in this situation here, he was able to push this zombie off of him, despite it having all the leverage. I'd say it's pretty close, but Deke is taking the slight edge. I mean, he's moved trucks and SUVs by himself when Joel needed help doing a similar thing. Durability. Up until his murder, Joel simply just refused to die. He was fine after falling several stories down an elevator shaft. He was only temporarily KO'd after a fall off a bridge, followed by a large rock hitting his head. And he survived falling on this small, metal pipe thing that pierced through his back. He survived it. Not only survived it, but just days later was already back on his feet, fighting through like a dozen cannibals to save Ellie with only one dosage of medicine. And even when he was murdered, he endured so much torture, including having his knee obliterated by a shotgun to the point it was almost blasted off, and a beating with a golf club. He also just withstood hits with blunt weapons, bullets, and hits from clickers and bloaters. But Deke has gotten right back up after motorcycle accidents and withstood hits and attacks from living and dead wolves and bears, breakers and bleachers, as well as blunt weapons and bullets too. He also endured being tortured by the Rippers. I'd say this is a fairly even area. Now, Speed. Speed is probably fairly even too, seeing that both have evaded bullets and outran hordes of infected. Might give the slight edge to Deke, simply because he reacted to runners which can travel at 60 miles per hour, and obstacles and foes while speeding on his motorcycle. But I want to give the slight edge to Deacon. So physically, despite Joel being a physical beast, I have to give the edge to Deacon, which does make sense considering he is like 20 years younger than Joel. He's more in his physical prime of his life, but it is still close. It's not a large margin at all. Now, let's talk about skills, abilities, and weapons. Despite not having any real formal training, Joel is showed to be a skilled and brutal brawler and marksman. He also used some basic wrestling moves too, like chokeholds and whatnot. I guess after living in this world for 2+ decades, he picked up a thing or two to survive. He's also really good at using his environment around him, like bashing his opponent's head into walls and other things like that. He's killed groups of infected people with his bare hands or with melee weapons. He slaughtered several of the cannibals while still recovering from a fatal injury. He also single-handedly wiped out the fireflies in a single afternoon, all to save Ellie. Now, I know based on the end of the second game, it's likely that they are still around, but for all intents and purposes, he wiped them out by himself. Basically, just don't get between him and Ellie because he will stop at nothing to save her. He just knew how to throw hard punches to great effect when brawling. And he's also a master of stealth, with such a sharpened sense of hearing that he can accurately locate enemy movements over several meters and through walls and floors and ceilings and whatnot. This has allowed him to easily bypass large groups of enemies or to kill large groups of enemies one by one without being detected, as well as sneak past clickers too. He also carries a lot of weapons, a plethora of firearms, a bow and arrow with regular and explosive arrows, a flamethrower, pipe bombs, smoke bombs, molotovs, shivs, and some sort of melee weapon like a bat or a pipe or something. But Deacon was actually trained during his military tour in Afghanistan and was stationed in the 10th Mountain Division. And while he hated every second of that tour, he was extensively trained. He's an expert knife fighter, marksman, tracker, and he's excellent at stealth too. And he was also just trained to overcome situations that would put normal people at a disadvantage. He's taken down groups of enemies single-handedly, whether it was raiders, rippers, infected, or wolves and runners. He's taken down entire camps without being seen, and has gunned down entire camps single-handedly too. He's even taken down entire hordes all by himself. Of course, he needed enough ammo and other weapons to get it done, like Molotovs and stuff, but he still got it done all by himself. I mean, his area, the world map, was just covered in hordes, and he took care of each and every single one of them single-handedly. Some bigger than others too. Like, look at this. You saw that, bro? Wild. He also carries a wide arsenal. A handgun, an assault rifle, SMG or shotgun, a crossbow or sniper rifle, Molotovs, grenades, pipe bombs, smoke bombs, flashbangs, rocks, a Bowie knife, and some melee weapon too, like a bat or something. And being a drifter, he is even a skilled and ruthless mercenary too. So it is kind of hard to say who's the better hand-to-hand combatant. Probably Deke because of his training, but he never fights with just his hands, except for that one flashback scene early on in the game where he fought those 3 bikers, like on a 1v3. Held his own, but eventually, obviously, lost. Any other time he uses his knife or some other melee weapon. I'd say Joel is more brutal, though, and better at stealth, simply because of his sharpened hearing and having to deal with clickers. There's nothing in Days Gone that has echolocation. However, Deke is simply the better marksman. In Days Gone, there's a game mechanic called Focus that allows him to view the world in slow motion when aiming with his gun. He doesn't actually have time powers, but it shows us just how good of a shot he is while in the heat of a gunfight. It's kind of like Deadeye in Red Dead Redemption. Joel is a solid marksman, but he's not that good where he can view the world in slow motion. And the last thing I want to mention is experience, especially experience in the zombie world. Deke has survived in his post-apocalyptic world for over 2 years. Impressive, considering the monsters he has to deal with. But Joel survived in his for over 20 years. Roughly 25 years dealing with the zombies, people, clickers, and bloaters. And it wasn't even these monsters that killed him, just a group of people who had a vendetta who caught him off guard. If he wasn't caught off guard, that situation probably would have ended differently. And the whole plot of The Last of Us Part 2 just wouldn't exist. So, who wins? Well, Joel is more brutal, he's more stealthy, and has more experience in his zombie world. But Deacon is overall physically better and the more skilled combatant and marksman. They both carry a wide array of weapons with the know-how to craft more weapons, ammo, and healing items, so I'd say they're fairly even. But I am just gonna say it, I'm siding with Deacon more often than not. Joel could win with his stealth. He really could. Sneak up on him, boom, shebang, got him. He's better at stealth than Deacon is. And with his hearing, he'll always know where Deacon is at. But he would definitely lose in a straight-up gunfight. And even with his brutality, a close-up fight isn't likely to work out for him either, seeing that Deke is still physically better and overall more skilled. and he could just physically outlast Joel simply because he's more in his physical prime. I mean, Joel could win in that scenario for sure if he utilized his environment around him and really hit him and got some good solid punches in with his hard ass fists and really get to show that brutal nature. Yeah, he could definitely win that. It's just not likely, seeing he's not as skilled. Also, while Joel can sneak, don't forget, Deacon can track too. So, at the end of the day, while Joel could win, I am siding with Deacon winning more times than not. Probably 7 or 8 times out of 10, give or take. But yeah, Deacon St. John wins. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Leave a comment of what you thought and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos and all the great stuff. Please go follow my Instagram account, dmanversus.videos, and my TikTok. Don't remember what it is, but I made a post with a link. You can go see it. Haven't uploaded to it. Don't know if I will, but go follow it if you want. The more people that follow it, the more likely I am to post to it. So, just putting that out there. But anyways, all the great stuff. I truly do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I hope you all have a great day. Peace!